massive value, even though it may only be measured X number of minutes. And if you made a listicle, it might be X times 3.
Yeah, that's right.
The metrics in our industry, are they, do you feel we still have this obsession for long metrics? Or because we're kind of making money these days and revenue exists, those metrics are not being as obsessed over? Because it comes to mind, Evan Williams from Twitter saying, like, I really don't care how many users Instagram or Facebook has versus Twitter. I care about the influence of the product. And anybody can look at Twitter and say, my God, the hashtags starting there, like Ferguson, are super important. And those things don't happen on Instagram.
Yeah, I think, you know, I completely agree with that. I don't think he was saying that the number of users is irrelevant or doesn't matter. I think he was saying it's less important the value that's being created. And the number of people who are engaging in reading Medium posts and articles could be a proxy for value, but there's a lot of other proxies for value. So I don't think people are obsessed with the wrong metrics per se. I do think, and this is something that you're very close to, I do think within the publishing world there's a lot of questions about the focus and energy towards driving the incremental page view. And it's understandable given that creating ad inventory, and that's what pays the bills, so that you can put out high quality product. I think there needs to be a more holistic approach to that. Otherwise, you can fall into a trap, which is a very vicious cycle, just trying to get that next incremental page view. And quality suffers, and more important than quality suffering, when it comes to things as important as media, the discourse suffers. And it's important that we're having difficult conversations, and it's important that we're talking about things that may not be popular. So, I think that's that.
And it's very hard in this social environment to have that middle of the road discussion, isn't it? I mean, it's like everything is so polarized because of social media.
Well, I don't know if it's because of social media. I think it's because of this endless availability and inventory. You know, in the old print world, there were only so many papers that could be printed at any given time, and you can only reach so much of an audience. In the digital universe, you have almost infinite scale possibilities. The ability to distribute content on a global basis and reach an audience has never been faster, and it continues to accelerate. So there's just a lot more of it, and by virtue of targeting capabilities, and then social becomes a bit of an echo chamber. You've got people gravitating towards the things that they're interested in.
Yeah.
And that reinforces polarity to some extent, where you're seeking out your own perspective.
Right.
You want that mirror effect.
Echo chamber.
Right? Well, echo chamber, then, people want to not only feel heard, but feel validated. One of the reasons this whole dress meme went crazy,
yeah,
because it was like, this is the way I see the world. There was something deeper than just the colors of that dress. It was, this is the way I see the world. Are you saying you don't see the world the way I see the world?
Right.
Because that's unsettling.
Or I saw the world this way yesterday, and now I'm seeing it this way.
That's unsettling. Crazy. There's some Cartesian stuff going on there in terms of visibility.
I was personally being punked, like someone was targeting ads towards me to make me feel like I was going.
Were you blue and black or white?
I was obviously writing gold, and then I went blue and black the next day.
You really white and gold?
The first day, yeah.
How many people were white and gold? Just show of hands.
Correct.
How many people are blue and black, please?
It's the wrong people. Yeah, see, it's exactly.
Someone's just booing. Someone's literally booing the blue-black selection.
By the way, ISIS has kidnapped 25 more people, and the economy is. I mean, it's like we're getting distracted by this stuff. Like, incredible. So many important things going on.
That's just it. So, on the surface, a discussion of what color a dress is wholly insignificant.
Yeah.
Underlying that is something much more important, which is the way in which we connect with one another, the way in which we communicate with one another, the way in which we see ourselves and others see us,
right.
The construct through which we see the world.
Yeah.
This stuff matters deeply. This is fundamental to human nature. And that's why your point earlier about the increasing polarity, it's important that we get out of our own heads sometimes. It's important that we're seeing content that we would not normally gravitate to.
Right. So let me ask you a question. You are, really big fan and rabid consumer of content. And you look out there and you see the Washington Post go for $250 million, the New York Times with a couple of memes, and Wall Street Journal. You can easily afford to buy it. You guys, I'm sure, must have considered having a proper publication and hiring journalists. When that comes up in a discussion, why does it not actually become reality at a company like that? Because it would seem to me an obvious thing for you to buy the Wall Street Journal instead of Rupert Murdoch and then plug it into your network, let it run independently. Did you guys consider the Wall Street Journal ever?
It's not about considering the Wall Street Journal per se.
What about the Washington?
When you think about any individual publisher and the role it would play in our ecosystem and our strategy, we want to be a platform. We want to enable publishers like that to get their content in front of our membership, first and foremost. We want to be driving traffic back to those publishers so there's a healthy, vibrant ecosystem. We have had an opportunity, been very fortunate to hire some world-class editors, people like Dan Roth from Fortune.
Right.
And he's made all the difference in the world. And that goes back to what we were talking about earlier, which is how do you drive relevancy in the digital age? And it can't simply be about machine learning and data optimization. It can't
So you plug the editor.
Social cues. So we've hired
Not
some
the editor,
talent,
but not the writers.
Balance out. Well, some of our editors write as well. Some of our editors write because they're able to attend an event like this and curate a little bit, and summarize it, make this out articles. Dipping our toe, but first and foremost, that's a platform play.
But you guys have, I mean, what's the scale of revenue right now as we wrap up here? How much you put in? Yeah.
So last year was 2.2 billion.
In top line revenue. And it's profitable.
Yeah.
So you've got a lot of money. You could easily hire 100 journalists. It would be a drop in the bucket. It would be $10 million.
But it would change the focus of what it is we're trying to accomplish with that platform. This is not an answer where I can avoid a tough question. It is not where we're focused right now. Could we hire writers and become far more principled in terms of generating original content? Yes. That's not the focus, that's not the strategy. The strategy right now is to create the best possible platform to satisfy two use cases, two value propositions. One is the publisher, who wants to generate an audience or establish expertise. The other is the consumer, that's looking to acquire business intelligence, knowledge, or information so they can be better when they do.
So maybe your editors and curators above being the writers, and there's kind of, like you said, there's plenty of writing out there.
That's right.
What about video?
We want more. We want more of it.
You don't know it's native though.
You've been, potentially we will, if it creates a better experience. You've been on kind of the cutting edge in terms of what's possible right now with unbundling. You've been very outspoken in terms of the current video platforms and their business models, and the fact that there should be an opportunity for folks like you that are trying to do something independent to be able to generate a real business at scale. And SlideShare for us historically was largely about presentations. It's increasingly about all forms of media, and we're starting to see a lot more very influential people using SlideShare to share content, share knowledge, and do so on video. And you can use your space, for lack of a better term, your blog on our platform for anything you want. So video, text, increasingly audio, and I think there's a really interesting model there that we're excited about.
Yeah, I'm super excited about this conversation product that you're going to release at some point. Is that going to be a standalone product, do you think? And how do you feel about bundling?
That's the core of the flagship offering. So to the point about great products have a singular focus.
Whoa.
Increasingly, our flagship product needs to be about professional conversations that matter.
Wow.
There's an additional dimension.
Not searching resumes.
That's funny you should say that. So there's an additional dimension of that, which is all about finding who and what you need professionally. Those two things work in concert. We want to make sure that that's the focus of flagship.
So the Tinder of networking, I need a designer within 150 miles, I swipe left and right, I start a conversation.
That's always been so core to what we do, the ability to find and research what you need professionally.
But combining that with not this email or an in-person where I got a call from a receptionist, but oh my God, I'm flipping through, I find the right designer and I start the conversation right there.
That's what we do.
That is a winning product. When will we see that? Q3, Q4?
We're working on it right now. And hopefully it gets better. I don't know.
How many hours a day do you work on that product? Because you've seen, all I've learned is 40 minutes is that sparkle in your eye when you talk about it is like your Tesla.
Yeah. The reason you're seeing that kind of response and energy is because we've seen it when it works. We know how powerful it can be.
Oh, you're testing.
And it's more than testing. That dynamic I described earlier with Paul's and example. It happens. We just need to make it easier. We need to make it simpler. We need to make it more intuitive. We need to do
end of the year? By the end of the year?
Before then, we want this should be a build. Every day that should get better and better.
Wow, okay, everybody give it up for Jeff, LinkedIn.